I'm sorry. I had to stop my car because I'm having a panic attack. Donald Trump, in his speech, just declared war on America. What is happening? What is happening? I'm in the middle of a panic attack.
Okay, so Trump is declaring war on the American people. Trump is also stating that they're going to do irreversible damage when the government shutdown happens, just because they didn't get what they wanted. They're going to fire massive amounts of people. Please tell me how this is the best president for America.
Hello guys, welcome back to my Shisha commentary. I hope you are doing good. Like we always say, we are just publicizing information. We are not supporting, neither are we criticizing. So tensions are rising across America as citizens are reacting to President Donald Trump's latest statement. Comment they say feels like a declaration of war, if not declaring war to the so-called people he promised to protect. Yes, from coast to coast, protests are growing and voices are rising as the divide between America seems deeper than ever. Supporters are saying that he is doing this to maintain law and order, while critics are saying that he is turning his back on the nation. So the question now is, has the fight for power gone so far? Tell us what you think about this particular question in the comment section. And if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel so that more videos like this will pop up your screen. Please like and share the video to help the channel out. You're welcome.
The regime is declaring fucking war on the American people! Trump is calling our cities, San Francisco, Chicago, LA, enemy fucking battlefields! He told the top generals that the US should use our own cities as training grounds for the military! This is fucking treason! We're entering a fascist militia state right in front of our fucking eyes! And while all this is happening, children, innocent children, are being locked up by ICE in a remote part of Texas for more than 20 days without clean water, without real food, without fucking sleep. They're being tortured with sleep deprivation, no medical care, no hygiene products, just emotional and physical fucking abuse. This is human rights abuse against kids. This is fucking cruelty. October 18th, New King State 2.0, nationwide protest. Stand the fuck up. I'm sorry. I had to stop my car because I'm having a panic attack. Donald Trump, in his speech, just declared war on America. What is happening? What is happening? I'm in the middle of a panic attack. That's all I have to say.
Trump is so desperate to use the U.S. military domestically. Because listen, today when he gave that speech to those military commanders, he said a few key things that he said before, but imagine the audience. So he tells them that they are responsible for fighting enemies, both foreign and domestic. And he emphasized domestic, and that led to him talking about the cities in America that are at war. The war is in American cities, and he named all his favorite blue cities, right? Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Portland. And I'm sure if he could have thought of more, he would have mentioned more. Now, I've always said that one of his greatest regrets from his first term was that he did not get to use the military like a toy like he wants to do. And I don't mean drones. I mean he wants to use aircraft carriers, bombers, submarines, bombing runs, boots on the ground, tanks, the whole deal. That's what he wants. And he didn't get that. And so now he has the generals listening to him tell him that they're responsible for fighting the enemy within. The enemy within is in these blue cities. And I said on the video earlier today, if you have family members that are in the military, it is about time to start checking on them and see whose orders they're gonna follow, his or honor their oath to the Constitution, and maybe one of their commanders who tell them you're not gonna attack American citizens. But he said that to them. And now when you think about, he's not happy that ICE hasn't taken out as many people as he wanted. Because remember, he and his ear whisperer, worm tongue, Stephen Miller, They want millions out. Trump used to say he wanted 10 or 15 million out, and now he's talking 30 million. And he doesn't believe ICE is doing the job fast enough, and importantly, equally importantly, he doesn't believe they're doing the job brutally enough. And so now he thinks, you know what? I'm going to use the military because they got more equipment. There's more of them. They're better trained, and they will do what I tell them because, like he and Keg's Breath said today, if you don't like what we're saying, walk out the room. And you'll be fired, and you lose your rank, your history, everything. And they all sat there. And in Trump's mind, that means they agree with what he says, and they're going to do what he tells them to do. And I believe ahead of the midterms, so sometime between now and 2026 midterms, blue cities, the ones he listed, and others, he's going to send much more military troops into the cities to disrupt voting and to give him the boots on the ground war that he has been longing to do since even before his first time. So the draft dodger wants to attack America. So let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments and let's talk about it.
Donald Trump has declared there is a war in Portland. Is there a war in Portland? If there's a war in Portland, why are all these youth soccer events taking place in Portland today? There is no war, but in this mythical war in Donald Trump's twisted head, he's authorized Pete Hegseth, head of our Department of War, to use full force, if necessary, on who? Portland's citizens. That's against the Constitution. It would be a criminal act. The Army is supposed to fight other countries. They're not supposed to attack us. Why does Donald Trump want to use full force if necessary? Because he says he wants to eliminate anti-fascist forces in America. You know who the last person was who went hard after anti-fascist forces in his own country? His first name, Adolf. I bet you can guess his last name. It's not surprising that Donald Trump is following Adolf's playbook. He is, and I say this without exaggeration, America's Austrian mustache guy. No, he's not the 1939 Austrian mustache guy or the 1941 Final Solution Austrian mustache guy. He's more like the 1932-33 Austrian mustache guy. We have feds and military in the streets harassing anyone who's brown-skinned and speaks Spanish, including the 50 million who are here legally or are U.S. citizens. It's just like what Adolf was doing in the beginning, except they aren't Jews. My parents, by the way, were Holocaust survivors. We have our fearless leader attacking the arts as somehow being, degenerate, just like Adolf did. I talk to people who are in denial about Donald Trump or are supporters who make excuses. They say, don't take Donald Trump literally. Everything he said he was going to do during the campaign, he's been doing. We must take him literally. Donald Trump is definitely America's Adolf circa 1932, 1933. Will we actually get to the point where Donald Trump is America's Adolf circa 1939, 1941? I don't know. I hope not. But I do know that we shouldn't be sitting on our hands waiting to see what happens. We need to fight like hell. That means we should be strategic. We shouldn't be stupid when we fight. We need to be smart. And that means with regard to Portland, Donald Trump is itching for a fight. Please, Portland, don't rise to the bait.
So, what do we call it when the government terrorizes its own people? Because that's what it sounded like at Quantico this morning. He stood up there and straight up said, we have to handle the so-called enemy from within. And who's that? Not some outside threat. He's talking about us. Protesters, journalists, teachers. Anybody who doesn't agree. Imagine being a citizen of this country and hearing the president call you an enemy. And then he doubled down and said we're going to use American cities as training grounds for our military. Like, excuse me? My neighborhood isn't a practice zone. My street is not a war game. That's not defense, y'all. That is intimidation. And here's the part that kind of stuck with me. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. But there goes your rank and there goes your future. He's giving mob boss. He doesn't want loyalty to the country. He wants loyalty to himself. And then there's that wild line that he said. There are 2 N-words and you can't use either of them. He threw nuclear war and racial slurs in the same sentence like it was supposed to be some sort of joke. That shit's not funny. It's dangerous and it tells you exactly what he values, which is nothing. But here's the scariest part. He's not hiding. He's saying it all on camera. Flags behind him, soldiers in uniform, people clapping under duress. maybe? None of this is normal. So yeah, what do we call it when the government terrorizes its own people? Because the legal definition of domestic terrorism is intimidation or violence used to push a political agenda. So tell me why this doesn't fit.
Trump wants to use majority black, brown, and working class cities as training grounds for the U.S. military, saying he wants to deal with the enemy.
They're going to say you're fear-mongering and that he never said all that.
Roll the clip.
Important mission. And I told Pete, we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid. Can help quell civil disturbances. This is going to be a big thing for the people in this room because it's the enemy from within. And we have to handle it before it gets out of control.
Now, the cities he has targeted with federal occupation so far have been LA, DC, and Memphis. Right now, he has his eyes on occupying Chicago, New Orleans, and Portland next. People are fighting back, but this madness continues. And they have the full backing of the war secretary, who says the military, quote, serves at the pleasure of the president every single day. They're telling you who they are. Will you finally believe them? Get organized.
I've been scrolling on TikTok for too long, worried about Trump, America, fascism, martial law, Hispanics, ICE, the future, and I have to get off TikTok. You gotta get off TikTok. You gotta stop worrying and take action in your life. Take action, in your community, politically. Just take action. Anytime you have anxiety about anything, take action and don't fester in that anxiety and that worry. And even because it like grabs you, it really like grabs you and it holds you tight, and that doesn't really help anything ever. So I'm gonna get some rest, and I'm just gonna plan for safety and taking care of my family and helping immigrants the best that I can, being an advocate, speaking out and just doing the best that I can, really. That's what I gotta focus on, building my knowledge of so many things. I feel like, I'm not really like a political person, but it's important to be informed. It's important to like know what you're talking about and just be able to like spread information and awareness to others. So anyways, I hope you'll have a good night and go to bed if it's late. Get some rest, take care of yourself.
Y'all, did y'all see Stephen Miller say that he's going to actually declare a federal surge in Memphis? Yes, he said that he's going to he said we're sending real cops with guns shoulder to shoulder with ATF, DEA, ICE, and the CIA. He said the Department of War will also be sent out there to Memphis, y'all. And this isn't a public safety issue. This is martial law. Martial law. This is what the fuck this is. They're declaring martial law in Memphis. How are you going to send the DEA, ATF, ICE, and the Department of War, the Department of Defense, originally, the fucking military to Memphis? There is some crazy there's a war on citizens, y'all. Literally, a war on citizens. People need to fucking prepare. After all of these lynches we found out that was happening in fucking Memphis, you guys are going to send the military out for what? Who are the thugs?
Good afternoon, beautiful people. In this latest episode of the Trump regime, it seems as though Donald Trump has just declared war on the American people.
We have major news. Donald Trump told Pete Hegseth that he wants to consider using Democrat-run cities as training grounds for the United States military, as he declared war openly on American cities and American citizens. In his speech to generals today, Trump said, quote, "I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military." because we're going into Chicago very soon. Right now, Trump also went on to say that he's going to go into a number of Democratic-run cities, including New York and San Francisco and elsewhere, but he is openly declaring war on American cities, on American citizens, and suggesting that they should use these cities as training grounds for the military, presumably if the military ever were to go to war abroad against one of America's adversaries, like China or Russia. People need to know about this. Spread the word because this is important. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have much more to come soon.
Whatever is in those Epstein files must run really, really deep. Please stay tuned for another episode of As the Trump Regime Turns.
How about instead of doing wars, the presidents or whatever you want to call them, the leaders of the states and countries and shit, how about y'all all just hop in a ring in the field or some shit, inject that shit out? What the fuck? What the fuck we gotta be involved for? What do the citizens gotta be involved for? We didn't do shit. Then now this nigga declaring war on us. What the fuck? What the fuck did we do? Nigga, we got you in office. Well, I didn't. Not we. They got you in office. The other U.S. citizens. And now you finna use them as fucking bait on a fishing hook. Talking about you finna use U.S. cities as practice grounds. My nigga, I live in Memphis. The National Guard are already down here. It's time for them young niggas to go to work. Y'all got a new fucking target now. If they try to do some bullshit, man, I hope all these young niggas in Memphis turn the fuck up. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like this would be a good time for our generals and the heads of our military to put a stop to Trump, because they know better. They have to. You can't declare war on your citizens. You can't declare war on your inner cities. You just can't. It's gone too far. It is definitely time for somebody to intervene. Somebody who can, somebody who can step in and say, no, we're not doing this.
Yo guys, thank you for watching the video. So cities like Atlanta, Chicago and Philadelphia should be used as a training ground for soldiers, for militaries. That sounds amazing. So what happens to the barracks? What happens to the forest? What happens to camping and soldiers? So you live here, you go to train and come and camp and train on the vicinities made for civilians? This is getting too much, because across this social media, a lot of things are happening. This country, the United States of America, has divided into different segments. Are we to talk about the ICE? Are we to talk about the raid? Are we to talk about the shootings? Are we to talk about the killings? Are we to talk about the deaths? Are we to talk about the racism? Are we to talk about the fight? Oh my God. A lot is happening. This country is dividing more deeper each day. And the question still remains, has the fight for power gone so far? So tell us what to think about this question in the comment section. And like I said before, if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel so that more videos like this will pop up your screen. Please like and share the video to help the channel out.